time to meet the players. Ladies and gentlemen from England, the Force, Justin Pye! And now, ladies and gentlemen, Australia's #1, the Wizard, Simon Whitlock!
You come from a land down under, where women go and men wonder. Can't you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover. I'm bred from a man in Brussels. He's 6'4", full of muscle. I said, do you speak my language? He just smiled and gave me a Vegemite sandwich. He said, I come from a land down under.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, your referee in charge of the action is the incredible Mr. Paul Higgs.
The action continues here in Prague at the Czech Darts Open. The inaugural Czech Darts Open. First time we've come to the Czech Republic on the European Tour. It all began back in 2012 with just the 5 events. None of them were live streamed. Had a slightly different format, but these two men here walked away with titles that year. Simon Whitlock winning the Dutch Darts Masters in Newland, beating some bloke whose name I forget, and Justin Pye won the very first one in Wiener Neustadt in Austria, beating James Wade in the final. They have not picked up titles on the European circuit since then. But Justin Pye has really picked up in his form over the last few weeks. It all started with a quarter-final run on the European Tour, the only time we've seen him on the Euro Tour prior to this weekend so far in 2019. Simon Whitlock's had a quarter-final run and a final already this year.
Ladies and gentlemen, first leg is just in the throw class. Game on.
And alongside me for the Force and the Wizard, it is Paul Nicholson. That was the bloke he beat in the final. Yes.
Long time ago. God, it does seem like a long time ago since that first Euro Tour event.
Well, it was. The best part of a decade.
Tell you what, if you'd have said to Justin Pye back in the middle of 2012 and to Simon Whitlock back at the autumn period of that year that they would not win another Euro Tour, they would have said poppycock.
Yes, that's exactly the word they would have used. And there we go. Our expert graphics homunculus has brought the scoreboard up for us.
That's definitely word of the day, that one. Homunculus. That's a good one. I wonder what else we can come up with when it comes to Euro Tour winners. And had a bit of drama already today with that last game. That was very tasty indeed.
Well, I'm a big fan of players celebrating when they've not actually hit what they thought they'd hit. I prefer it on a miscount, but if you just miss the target entirely, I still think that's hilarious. Darren Webster will not be thinking it's particularly funny right now.
No, I think that's very fair to say that. Well, the first thing I've noticed in this game is that Simon Whitlock has had the scissors out again.
He hacking at his flights.
He has been hacking at them, but he's been doing it in a very precise way. They look almost rounded.
Yes.
Is he trying to make a new shape flight? Because he loves making new points. He loves making new little intricacies. Well, maybe he's run out of ideas with points, and he's found something else in some sort of 98p shop that resembles. Oh, I can make it offline.
Simon, you
Well,
require
these look like the
136.
Allen key points, the Whiz Hex point that he knocked up the prototypes for in his garage, and it's designed to stop his darts doing that, going into the board and dropping. He likes them when they're stood up in the board.
I'm not convinced he's got the hex points in.
Is it not? I thought they were.
42.
It's difficult to tell, actually, without a proper close. I thought they were, but they are very small Allen keys, so the little hexagon sides, the flat sides, are difficult to see.
I'll have to get the old darting telescope out. Well, straight down the barrel of the lens there from Pikey. He's himself on a double, and Whitlock needs to take the 94 now. What a shot that is. And that as well. What a response from Captain Whitlock.
Superb little passage of play there. 180 setup shot from Justin Pipe. Doesn't get a go at the double 10 because Whitlock pings the 94 in 2 darts.
Game on.
Break of throw as well. What do you think the head-to-head records between these two are? I was surprised.
I think Justin might have the edge on it.
He does, you know. Not right at this second in this match, but over the course of their careers, this is their 20th meeting, and Justin has won 11 already.
140.
Simon Whitlock was beaten on the Euro Tour 6-3 at this stage of the European match play last summer. That's their most recent meeting. His last win came in April 2017. The bulk of their games are all sort of 2010, 2011, 2012, when Justin Pipe, in particular, was winning titles, going deep in big tournaments. Simon Whitlock has had spells where he's gone without titles. In fact, he's in one at the minute, but he is threatening. He's doing better than he had that two-year spell where he was going out first round of big TV tournaments every time, wasn't winning anything, and then fought his way back, won 5 titles in as many months to really re-establish himself as one of the big names of the game.
Yeah, he tends to go a little bit streaky when he gets one. Tends to cluster them a bit. And it was a cluster at the back end of 2011 that Justin put together that was very impressive indeed.
Yeah, of course, leading up to that first Euro Tour win, of course, for Justin Pipe in 2012. Double 16 for Wizards. The old Whitlock half step
51
is not employed as well as it might have been.
130.
Oh, Justin likes shots that are straight down the line, and this one is straight down the line, but he's going to have to negotiate that dart. Almost did so.
58.
Whitlock
Simon,
returns.
you require
The way
32.
his darts have gone in today, on the whole, Whitlock's got a lot to smile about, and a bit more to smile about now. They're going in very direct. And have a little closer look. I think he has got the hex points in. I think that shot that we referred to was just in the corner of the treble, and it had a lot of wire on it.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm still not convinced they do what he's convinced they will do, but Simon Whitlock, his bugbear of recent times, and I think it stems from even before his European Championship final last year, where he was not particularly happy with the board, is about the boards. Some are too soft, some are too hard. It is none of them are just right. It is the Simon Goldie Whitlocks situation. But he's tried these points, and he's tried different grip on the point to try and get them to stay in. And I don't know. Is that an insect? What was that? Is he just seeing things that aren't there?
I sincerely hope not.
Was he just doing the sort of boy band reach down from the sky for the key change? I'm not sure.
Very good. I'm not sure if he's into that kind of music.
I'm not sure either. I dread to think what's on the Wizards' iPod.
140.
Maybe we can find out by the end of the weekend.
Is he a player who listens to music when he's practicing?
No.
I'm not sure I've seen him with headphones in.
No, it's very popular in the practice room, but Simon's one of those guys who does never use headphones.
Justin's always got his
64.
earphones in, or has a lot. I'm not sure what he listens to. Probably the Wurzels.
I think Justin was one of the first who was doing that. I know that Wes Newton, myself, Kevin Painter, we were in the World Grand Prix program back in, I think it was 2010, and they did an article about people who were starting to use music as a way of focusing. And for me, I remember Justin as one of the first people to use earplugs.
Yeah, he certainly was, and using earplugs as well in floor tournaments, not just on the stage. Just see if Whitlock can take this out, because he is bossing this game at the moment, the Wizard. But I certainly remember Justin Pipe playing at the NIA in the big sports hall underneath the Premier League venue where they had some proto events a few years ago, and he was playing in earplugs there, and it helped him adapt to the sort of weird, sort of atmospheric pressure playing underground in a big sports hall. He just didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah, it's fair to say that place was a bit odd to play darts in. It was quite cold. Whitlock looking at double 16 again to be halfway to victory. He's looking very good on those doubles, isn't he?
It is a 14 darter, a 13 darter, and then another 14 darter, and Simon Whitlock at the moment is threatening to average higher than I have seen him average in, I am trying to remember how long. The last time I saw the Wizard put in 110 average, I think we're talking years rather than months, because he's not been doing that on the tour. And the Euro Tour, he's put in some decent displays, had a good run last time out in Copenhagen.
But that first 9 is incredibly impressive, because we don't really associate Simon Whitlock with being at that level. Sometimes we'll see him at around the 110, 112 maybe, but over 120?
96.
Well, just to put this in context, at the moment Simon Whitlock is averaging 20 points more than he does on the Pro Tour stuff this year. He's averaging just over 90, which doesn't even put him in the top 64. Because but it is streaky from him. There's a good tournament and then 3 poor ones in first round exit.
Yeah, he's been getting a lot of that the last 18 months, Simon Whitlock. Too many first round exits.
But the thing is, the incredible thing about the Wizard is that even if he has a run of bad results, it doesn't seem to dent his confidence. He always believes that there's a good run coming, and it seems to be that his ability to shrug off bad results, even if they come in a big clutch, it means that he's more likely to then go and have a good weekend somewhere. And we've seen that this year. He had a run to the last 16 of the UK Open, the Euro Tour final, another Euro Tour quarter-final. It takes enormous mental resilience when you're having a tough time that may go on for months or even years, because it was a couple of years that the Wizard was struggling, after being one of the top 4 players in the world, to be able to battle your way back up the rankings and do things like make the European Championship final, which he did last year.
Yeah, he has, of course, been in 3 of them. Aren't many people who can say that.
Quite, just seems to love that particular tournament. And it was always the Euro Tour stages where he seemed to be playing his best stuff back in 2012, 2013. Actually beat Justin on the way to a final in Dusseldorf at the Maritime Hotel one year.
Oh, exemplary from Justin Pipe. But it would be almost old school Whitlock to do this. Does he look at the ball? Oh, he was close. I think it was the right call. Sometimes you just got to pick a spot and go for it.
Do you think it's the right call to go treble 15 to leave double 15?
No. Justin is very, very disappointed with that, and I don't blame him, because the way his darts lie, if he gets one just underneath, he's got a great guide, and the last thing you want to do is have a dart in your hand that you can't use. He'll be livid with that.
He likes double 6 as well. He leaves double 13 a lot. It's just below it. It was the right call all along, Wizards. Of course, treble 15 to leave double 15. Come back and pin it for a 16 darter and a 4-0 lead.
Got to ask you though, is that semi-dead cutting it? Because if Justin's the kind of guy who watches the board, he's thinking he's going to go for something else, and why has he done that? And has it put him off?
Any number of other players going for that shot, I would think maybe they've done that deliberately to put the other player off, i.e. the dead cat shot. But with Simon Whitlock, I genuinely have no idea on any given day what doubles he fancies. He practices them all, he leaves odd ones, he goes odd routes, and he changes his routes as well. You just don't know what he's going to do.
I remember early in his career when he was at the Grand Prix, Keith Deller was the spotter at Dublin. And he walked up to Simon Whitlock and said, "Right, Simon, what is your preferred starting double?" And he said, "What's your second, banker?" So he told him it was double 15 and double 10. And then as soon as the game started, he went for a completely different shot and threw off the cameraman.
Yeah, he sometimes I'm not even sure he knows when games start. Even at the start of visits, he just changes his mind. Justin Pipe has needed to put in a good leg to get himself into this game. He has put in a good leg, and he has got a bit of time with which to work.
It'd be very good for his confidence if he can ping this double 18 for an 11. That is some sort of comeback. And if you think that JP hasn't got any bounce back ability, you'd be wrong. Because after that poor finish to the last leg, he has done the job there to get himself on the board and sniffing again.
Well, look, Justin, first leg he was left on 20, didn't get a shot. Second leg he was left on 72, didn't get a shot. 100 in the third leg. And these were 3 good legs from the Wizard. He is averaging more than a ton here, Justin Pipe. He's not playing poorly. In fact, he's averaging more than Whitlock now, but he just hasn't had those chances at double, apart from the 2 in the previous leg. This could be 3-2 and game very much on. As it is, you feel that Justin Pipe is chasing. But he's chasing hard.
I've always felt that Justin Pipe can do amazing things on a dartboard when he challenges his anger a little bit. And he's challenging. Challenging the 180 there for another 9-dart pop, but he's only just denied.
Wow. Has the Wizard punched himself out a bit here? Oh, look at this. Another 180 to leave double 10 again. Not quite. But of all the players in the world, when you've got 3 darts in your hand looking at 60, Justin Pipe's a great one because he can just stick one just under that double top and it is just a platform to lay the next one on.
Back-to-back 11s.
Oh.
Now that's the antithesis of what you just said, Dan.
40. Simon Urucar 134.
Well, there are shots that hurt, and then there are shots like this that will be like a baseball bat to the gish. It's not going to go. He has left tops just in case Justin has another moment on the right side of the board.
Couldn't hit double 6 earlier. It's up for double 5. Tricky. Maybe even trickier now. Great dart, Justin Pipe.
As good as he is, there will be a percentage of relief there.
Whew, yeah.
Especially with the way his darts land. And he could probably see about, what, 60% of that bed maybe at the very most.
Yeah, look, it is, with the way that people's darts go in the board, that is why Whitlock is so fixated on it and why he keeps tinkering with his points. The top players can use their darts like that to guide the other ones into their target areas. But just as you can get ones that help, you get ones that hinder, just as Whitlock on the treble 20 there. And it's fine for Whitlock in that situation, he can switch to a new target. But if you're going for a double and you've already blocked it, then unfortunately you've got no other option. You've just got to find a way around it.
134.
Pipe has lifted himself into this game. He's still got a small mountain to climb to get within touching distance of
30.
the beer to be feared. But boy, is he doing a great job on the scoring element in the last 3 legs.
Well,
he just cannot miss that 60.
this is superb.
135.
Well, there's been a couple of times this year where Justin Pipe has averaged over a ton on the tour. One of those games he lost actually to Going Price.
He's just done a treble 15, I'm not sure why. He had 67. Was he looking to leave double 11? Doesn't matter, he didn't leave it. But he has left double 16, which he likes. Likes it even more now. He's within one.
Justin Pipe, he wasn't playing badly when Whitlock went 4-0 up, but he's gone into overdrive here.
93.
Granted, that 15-darter was against the throw, so the Wizard had 5 visits in that leg, but it does mean that he could have done nothing against the other 2 legs against Justin, apart from throw a 9-darter.
When you're throwing 3 legs with 37 successful darts, that's going to trouble anyone in the universe.
Well, look at that. Whitlock has
81.
regressed further towards his mean average for the year, but Justin Pipe continues to motor along at that 103, 104.
Well, that first 9's gone down by about 25.
Yeah.
So 75
98.
points is a big difference. That, for me, is the difference between leaving a finish and not. So
Yeah.
that's probably where Justin Pipe has gained the ground.
Yeah, well, that's it. You know, if you're averaging 110 on your first 9, so 110 for each of your first 3 visits, that gets you to a finish. Admittedly, a big one, 170. But you're there, you've got a chance, and you're also putting pressure on your opponent, who may have thrown first. They may be down to a finish already. They know they've got to use bullseye routes and all that sort of stuff. You're forcing them to make mistakes.
What Whitlock's got to do here is find trebles and force, no pun intended,
60.
Justin Pipe to put himself onto something like 106 here, which is very possible now with that perfect first dart. And another, looking to leave 66.
140. Samuel Carr,
Well, he does leave 106. And right now,
96.
Simon Whitlock, there must be, even with all his experience, there must be a little element of panic.
Shot a double? No. Whitlock has the opportunity now
74.
to get a 2-leg gap
Samuel
again
Carr, 74.
and get that tiny bit of breathing space. And to stop the rot, he's going to need 20 in tops and a move to the left.
34. Justin Carr, 32.
They were going earlier in the game when Whitlock was flying. But the Aussie has been pegged back. 4 on the spin for Justin Pipe, who is now the favourite to win this game.
Game on.
I think it's fair to say that you can never underestimate Justin Pipe on a European Tour stage. We've had multiple examples of this year in 2 tournaments.
Yeah, I'm still astonished by what Justin managed to do earlier on this year. Just a few days after the death of his father, he went on a run to the quarterfinals of the European Darts Open. It was emotional, it was brilliant, and it must have... I don't even know how he did it, to be honest.
That must have really sapped him emotionally.
I don't fully understand how he managed to do it. But to be honest, it's since that weekend
60.
that we've started to see him play some decent stuff. It seems that there have been some poor performances in there as well, but in general, it's been better. He's averaging more than Simon Whitlock on the tour this year. He's not had the same results on the European circuit. It's only the second time we've seen it. But there's been some good stuff for Justin, and he is a proven winner. He has won a number of PDC titles. Admittedly, it's 5 years since the last one.
99.
There's no substitute for experience, they say.
You can't buy it.
No.
And Whitlock
56.
is coming up dry on those big trebles. And Pipe is just wandering away from him. And that average from Whitlock is regressing even further. Pipe ain't missing. Whitlock is. That's this game in a nutshell right now.
Well, the Taunton man has left himself a 2-darter.
91. Justin Carr, 84.
He's taken out a 96. Not a dissimilar shot. Treble 20, the top left of the board. That's the first bit done. That's trickier.
60.
He will return to take the lead, having been 4-0 down to a former European champion, to last year's European Championship runner-up.
190.
Pressure applied, but maybe too
24.
late. He's had a few seconds to gather his thoughts. Does he get revenge on double 6? Revenge on double 3. He does, and he does take the lead. Who would have thought that was going to happen 5 legs ago? Whitlock's going to be boiling right now, Dan. He really is. He's a very, very proud daughter. And right now he'll be thinking, how is this happening after the first 4 legs are through?
Yeah. Well, the simple answer is he couldn't sustain it. It was a superb level. And Justin Pipe has managed to carry on playing at a very high level. He was good at the start of the match, just not as good as Whitlock.
Well, if you're in Simon's position now, you've got to break this down and make it really simple. Stick with Justin here. Get a chance to hold your throw and get 1 chance to strike in leg 11.
85.
Because it's starting to get a bit edgy again. And when it was like that, Simon was the one getting it earlier.
Well, I mean, Simon's been involved in all kinds of weird comeback games. He's produced comebacks and lost from hugely advantageous positions. You're never quite sure what's going to happen in a Simon Whitlock match.
That's why we like watching him.
Well, it's one of the reasons.
2-8. Needs to take that 8 off somehow. A lot of players will go to 19s here, but he's going to stay there. Gets a really good treble. And another. And even the Pike fans have to applaud that. That was a fabulous visit.
What can Justin leave? He's not going to leave a 2-darter.
85.
But he does leave a check out.
It's tricky though. It's above 130, which makes it even harder. And double 14 to take us all the way. And a tricky double 7 is negotiated from the Whitlock.
We're going the distance for the first time today at the Czech Darts Open. Justin Pipe has the throw, and what a start he's making. What a start! 180, number 4 for the Force.
Some game on a Super Saturday.
98.
And Pipe is in position. I haven't seen many tactical errors in this game. A couple of
46.
questionable goes at treble 15 for shots, but they didn't turn out to hurt them. But this has been blow for blow, and this game deserved this 11th leg. This is such a good contest. Who do you fancy, Dan?
I have no idea.
Needs a 60. Doesn't get it. Can't leave a finish. Whitlock possibly in the driving seat now. He'd be looking to shave off that 6 at the end of his score somehow. 19's needed. Needs a treble to leave 170.
Great use of the little mini step there, using that barrel to careen into the treble 19. Justin struggling. All of a sudden, he kicked this leg off with a 180. And again, an 85 is just enough to leave a finish, and it's 1 point less than what he had in the previous leg, which makes it significantly easier.
Yeah, Pipe with the finger of foot shot, just enough, but it might not be enough. Whitlock scares the treble.
105.
But Pipe needs 1 treble, 1 single, and a bull to finish this off. Oh my word! I in my life have not seen anything so cruel.
65.
That game did not deserve that.
Absolutely brutal for Justin Pipe. It didn't even look loose. And the Wizard has done it! An incredible contest. Pipe throws his darts away. The two men who won Euro Tour titles back in 2012 show they've plenty more to give, as the former European champion Simon Whitlock loses a 4-leg lead, becomes second favourite in that one, and with the aid of the most savage ball out of the board, creeps over the line.
An absolute thriller, ladies and gentlemen. Commiserations to Justin Pipe and congratulations to Simon Whitlock. What a match. Well, let's grab a few words with our winner. Simon, please. Wow, what a match. I mean, 4-0 up, looked absolutely done and dusted, and then the force came flying back.
Well, yeah, that's Justin. You know what? This man never gives up. He's a fighter. What a great dart player. I was lucky in the end. He had a dart fall out, so it's the way it goes.
That is true, it is the way it goes, and you had to fight right to the bitter end. I mean, you had to feel for Justin when the dart fell out of the 60. I mean, clearly it was a good point for you, but not a great moment for him.
I felt good when it fell out.
That's sport, I suppose, and you could only tell the truth. Well, Simon, the reward will be you will play either Gerwyn Price or Glenn Durrant, and I'm sure you're not worried one way or the other.
No, you know what? They're both fantastic players. I can't wait to play either one. Yeah.
Well, Simon, we wish you all the very best. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, the Wizard, Simon Whitlock.